Thursday in the
Happy
era of
Thursday.
so many new Glens since the last time we talked. There's a whole new one.
Somewhere between 9 and 4 new Glens we've had lately. So it's
Tons
just
of
it's
engines.
it's
Big
out of
fairings.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah, the falconization of rockets continues. So, yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. We've got Ed. Let's see if I say this right. Ed Gee. I'm just gonna go for a
G?
guess on that one.
Hard?
Good enough.
Good enough.
Oh,
Okay.
mystery.
Good.
You said
Love
good,
it.
which is also soft. Should we stick with the soft G and not? It's not good enough. It's good enough.
It's
Or you just roll with it. You're like,
Gee,
whatever.
yeah, just go with it.
All right. Okay. Ed G. All right. Cool. We're going to talk about we've been trying to get this episode on the books for a while. We've had the schedule gods have not been kind to us trying to get this interview going. So I'm glad that we finally were able to make this happen, because it was like one thing on this side and one thing on that side, and we couldn't get it together. But we're here now, and we're excited to talk about AI powered satellites and satellite capabilities, and I guess compute and space. You're going to tell us what we're going to talk about, because it sounds like pretty fun. But maybe just introduce yourself. Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Got it. Yeah. So I'm Ed. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Aethero Space, a company building radiation-hardened space-grade AI computers for satellites to enable a variety of missions, from advanced Earth observation all the way to missile defense, on-orbit servicing, in-space autonomy, and of course the famous orbital data centers that SpaceX and Google seem to be going after. So we essentially have a full suite of products ranging from like space-grade GPUs in a box, all the way to a fully integrated software suite that enables autonomous users to train, annotate, and build computer vision models off of the satellite data that satellites collect when they're on orbit, constellation management, over-the-air update software to enable you to manage your AI-led modules on board the spacecraft, as well as multiple module generations. So we actually have one existing flight heritage computer that's based on the NVIDIA Orange NX GPU. We have more coming out based on the AGX, and one on the IGX, in addition to products that enable satellites to run multiple computers in a distributed cluster, like the true data center would, instead of taking one large server, strapping it to a satellite, and calling that a data center.
Yeah, you don't want a GPU satellite. You do want an actual data center.
An actual data center gives you reliability and resiliency that data centers actually have. That's the point of a data center, right?
Right. Okay, cool. That's a lot of stuff. I think we've got that's a good slate of conversation. Anthony and I have been talking about AI just before this show, so I'm sure we'll have lots of interesting.
Who hasn't?
Different angles on it. Yeah. Ed, did you bring a drink today? Do you have anything prepared to show us?
I got a bottle of water. That's I'm pragmatic
Healthy.
and efficient, as opposed to fits with the vibe.
Okay. I love it. What
It's
do you got,
cooling
Anthony?
you down. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cooling you down. Yeah.
You're water cooled. What do I got? I got a Victory Hop Devil, Jake. Shout out to the Jersey Devil. This one's delicious. If you like an IPA, boy, will you like the Victory Hop Devil. It's a great one.
I dig it. That's
Some
awesome.
people would say it's their best. So
Yeah.
that's what I got.
The great thing about an IPA is that as long as you make the IPA, you can't screw it up, because it's just like it completely blows out all the taste
Sounds like
buds.
a mead elitist down there. What did you make? Did you bring anything you made, or you just what happened?
No, I got a
We're
cocktail
not up for
today.
the mead
So
yet?
it's coming. Don't worry. But I have this cocktail today. This is a rum and tune. So this is I've had this type of liqueur on before. This is Ishtab and Tune, which is like a honey based liquor here with a star anise. So it's got like that black licorice thing, but it's kind of a Mayan drink. And I saw this new brand, this Yumbab. So I thought I'd give it a go. It's very smooth. I like it. It's really good. A little bit of rum, a little bit of lime juice in here. Perfect.
Up on that new brands of the Yucatan situation down there. Look at you.
New brands of the Yucatan. Yeah.
It's like honey-based rum. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's like fermented honey, and they put star anise, so it's like black licorice is like the sort of the dominant flavor in there. So and it's pretty like has like a syrupy consistency, so it's like very like smooth and sweet, and yeah. But
Wow.
it's good stuff.
Nice.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
you start, Jake. Where are we going?
Okay. Well, I mean, the first thing that I think that I want to kind of talk about is just, I think there's like some obvious things about like AI on satellites that most people will kind of get. I'm thinking about how these things can like work together and like collect a lot of data and then like make decisions, right? Which is like, I think, an important part of why you'd want to do this. But I do also want to get onto this whole data center and space thing, because that is like one where I haven't quite gotten my brain to a place where I understand why anyone would want to do that. And so I'm really hoping that you can kind of talk a little bit about what the business case is, because it just seems kind of weird to me to put all your compute up in space where it's like far away from us and has latency, right? So I don't know if that makes sense to me, but maybe I'll do that. Like, what's the business case? Like, why do I care if there is AI on my satellites? Like, what is the need there?
Well, let's define data centers in space from first principles, right? Like when people talk about data centers in space, usually everyone's thinking about like training GPT-6, whatever, in space, doing like AI hyperscaling in space, and ultimately that's less for play towards like actually AI in space, more for play on space-based solar power. That power is going to be cheaper in space. Personally, I don't feel too technically. That's not within my area of expertise. I don't think that's going to be the case within like the 2030s. That it'll make more sense to put like a massive AI data center in space instead of on Earth, and that probably and the 2040s. Is still very far away, so God knows what the hell we're going to be doing then if the AI thing is still going to be the next hot trend. But for AI on satellites, it makes sense quite a bit, right? Because a lot of these satellites collect a ton of data, and sending all this data back down to Earth is quite inefficient, particularly if let's say you're capturing, like, the International Space Station produces terabytes of data every single day, and they produce so much raw research data they actually send hard drives down on the Dragon capsules. And it's like when you're producing so much data and the ground station periods are so limited, and the amount of data you can send down during each ground station contact period is limited, it makes sense to process data in space. And then you go into more advanced use cases, right? You look at on-orbit servicing when you're doing autonomous RPO. You look at missile defense when you're trying to do, like when you're trying to detect an object moving at Mach 25 across the atmosphere, an object moving at Mach 30 in space. You can't really wait to send this data down to the ground and then have someone look at the data and then send it back up again. You need this data to be processed instantaneously. You need a satellite to react instantaneously, and that ultimately is where the biggest use case of AI in space comes from.
I'm laughing at hard drives in the Dragon.
Yeah, the bandwidth of a Dragon capsule. What is it?
Yeah, what is
that? That's that famous. Was that an XK? Wait, who wrote the? No, it was. I forget. Somebody wrote what is the bandwidth of a 747? This was like years ago, right? Like, how much data could you send across the world and the time it takes to fly there? And now this is even better with like loading the Dragon up with a bunch of hard drives.
The guys have heard of it. There's a protocol called IPv4 where you try to essentially have internet data packets being sent through carrier pigeon, and apparently it's has a very high packet loss rate, horrible latency, highly not recommended.
Severe packet loss at all times.
Carrier pigeon packet loss. Yeah.
Here comes another.
Yeah. No, someone. This is like someone did
for that. You can't be on TCP.
I think I've told this story before, but someone in Canada did that once as an experiment to protest our high bandwidth prices, because the ISPs there were pretty bad for a while, still kind of are. But someone did the same thing where they tried to upload a large file from Halifax to Vancouver, and then they raced it by putting a hard drive on an airplane and flew it over there, and the airplane won, very, very easily. So it was not a good situation. But
the other aspect, I guess, though, real quick, you're saying the ISS generates so much data, right? You think about like planet imaging. What percentage of their images are for like any particular use case? Now, that might be a bad case because they sell to a lot of different people, but like, if you had a particular use case in mind, what percentage of their images are just junk to you and like noise, and you don't actually care about them? If you're looking for, maybe one of the better examples would be like Umbra or somebody that's doing sensing of like ships at sea, right? And they're doing, or even Sentinel that just launched Sentinel 1D that's doing like radar imaging and then tracking ship beacons, and they're cross-referencing to find a ship that is not broadcasting but is sailing. And it's like so much percentage of the stuff they collect is just noise. But you only care about the one little substat. So just send me that. Like, don't send me all this other stuff and make me deal with it. You deal with it and let me know when I should go look.
That's exactly the point. And these companies like Planet, like Sentinel, are actively integrating AI onto the satellites, right? Like Planet, right after us, they start sending up GPUs onto their own spacecraft. Planet's one of the main partners now for Google's TPU and space program. Like these EO companies badly want AI on the satellites because, like you said, so much of what they collect is just noise. No one is paying millions of dollars for images of the empty ocean or images of a desert that, like the Sahara is probably important, but I'm not paying $10,000 to look at
you don't need
images
16
of
photos out of a
desert.
day. Like one every once in a while, probably good. Do you need it every 90 minutes? No.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention cloud cover as well.
Yeah, Oh, you're muted, Jake, or something. We can't hear you. Can you hear him, Ed?
I know I cannot.
Oh, he's gone. I don't know. That's because they heard you telling all this smack talk about AI in space, and your satellite internet is out. You can hear us. This is great. We control them. At least you're not doing that thing.
I was thinking that
just laughing
the internet broke down in Yucatan. Maybe you should send him a carrier pigeon.
He's on a Starlink, so I think it's more that he's trashing their upcoming business model. And that's what did it to you. You might need to reboot and come back. Yeah, you're coming back in. Oh man, the other week he had a real big incident where his mic got stuck repeating the same noise over and over again, and it drove everybody nuts. So this is at least better than that if we can hear him. Can you talk about what like kind of hardware situation is right now with the company? Like, what have you have out there flying, or what are you working on? What's the status overall?
Absolutely. So our first generation flight computer based on the Aura Nano and Aura NX has flight heritage. We're actively flying it. We have customers actively flying it as well. By the end of this year, we already have a second generation module based on the AGX Orin coming out by the end of this year. We'll have flight heritage as soon as the first half of next year. In addition to that, we already have begun working on building our own satellite platform. So one thing people have asked me a lot is, Ed, why do you guys use companies like Loft Orbital? Why do you guys insist on doing all of your demonstrator missions in-house? And my reply to that is, I hate the thought of being a components company. I would rather shoot myself than run a components company. God help me. And so I have a strong bias against being a pure play components company. And that's because like the Department of War does require companies to have their own platform, right? Their own solutions if you've got to contract to be a prime. Ultimately, in space, that is where the bulk of the money is, at least for the American space industry. So if you are a components company, you are essentially stuck as a subcontractor for most of your business life cycle. Some people might be like, that's fine. I'm fine building a $50 million business. I'd be happy with 10 million. I'm not. I want billions. I am not here to make 10 million. If I wanted to make 10 million, I would have gone to big tech, screw that. But that really does. So that's really the sentiment I'm moving ahead in, right? And we have a second satellite launching in February of next year. We have a third satellite, a full S-Flood fast launching in the summer as well. And these missions are giving us flight heritage on our next generation systems. These missions are giving us heritage on a full software ecosystem. They're giving us heritage on our ecosystem of expansion modules that add additional functionalities to our computing prowess. I add functionalities for like software-defined radios, functionalities for our onboard computers, or high-speed data payloads. And this really enables us to tackle the market not just as a space edge computer components provider, but as a fully fledged prime contractor that's capable of working with bus manufacturers, white labeling the buses, and offering full solutions to the end customer.
Are you back, Jake?
I think so.
You're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You caught most
I think
of that,
my
I
USB.
think.
I think my USB hub died. The chip on there was not
It's probably
rad
because you
hardened.
bought it
So.
from a shitty component manufacturer, Jake. You need a
Component
full-blown hardware manufacturer.
Yeah, I should have gone for the full service.
Yeah,
one.
you should have bought it from somebody that makes the whole damn package, Jake. Okay, love it.
Before I was rudely interrupted by my own hardware, I was gonna ask, like this is not where all the money is, but the planetary imaging situation I think is one where it could really benefit from this. But I'm kind of curious to hear your take on it, because like if you look at something like the Curiosity rover, even the Perseverance rover, they are sucking up a ton of data from their instrumentation, and they're leaving it on the surface, right? Like the Deep Space Network does not have enough bandwidth to bring every bit home, and some of that data is going to be like required for onboard processing. Like their navigation cameras, they're just like it can like auto drive, right? It's taking a whole bunch of pictures as it drives and changing its courses and doing things like that, which feels like a very good like use case for this kind of technology. But then sometimes it's like they got to take a picture of a rock because there's something interesting on it, and they got to take 1,000 photos of it from every angle and then send it all up. And then we got to go through that the hard way to try and figure out where the useful stuff is in it there. So like we could help with the bandwidth by picking the best 5% of those pictures, or like even doing something interesting, like kind of combining them into like more derivative data products that are like, more cost efficient bandwidth wise, but still preserve all of the actual information that we need to do science on it. Right. But where I'm going to go with this though, is that I know that these rovers require so much redundancy and like reliability that the computers on board are 10, 20 years behind. Right. And so, they have to be rad hardened, obviously, for like somewhere like the surface of Mars. But how do we get this kind of technology into those things without just having to like wait for the 2045 rover that's going to have today's technology that you're talking about, right?
So that's a good question. So for deep space computing, GPUs ultimately do run into some limitations based on the fact they're designed for terrestrial use cases, right? They're designed for performance, aren't really designed for resiliency or redundancy. One thing that we've seen some of our customers do for cislunar missions or missions to near Earth asteroids is to simply have multiple GPUs on board, and when one dies, you just switch it off, switch on the next one, and that works really well for like clustering them together, since that means tasks can be carried over seamlessly. But one, ultimately, we do believe that if we really, really want to like send mission on like 30-year missions, 40-year interplanetary missions, you do really need to look at rad hard by design chips. But ultimately, there isn't that big of a market there just yet, right? For a radiation hardened by design GPU chip that can last for 40 years in deep space. Because let's be honest, NVIDIA, like if you go to NVIDIA, how many AI chips do you think NVIDIA sells in a week, right? 100,000. How many satellites do you think will be in orbit in the whole like get launched in a decade? Even with Starlink, and assuming all the Chinese mega constellations also happen and Kuiper as well, probably 100,000. So like if we look at the decade versus the week or slash a month, it doesn't really make sense for any of these AI or chip design companies to be designing like a specifically rad hard chip, because you'll never
Yeah.
have the production volume to from a chip fab to justify it, unless you're willing to diversify the use case. But then you just end up with a chip that's massively overkill for any environment that you have on Earth.
Yeah. So you're saying no? It's like
Yeah, I was gonna say,
My
unless you're betting
phrase
on the
is
nuclear
what
testing situation, we might need rad hardened chips more often on the surface these days.
the way I'd phrase it as it's the reason obstacles blocking us from doing this aren't just on the technical side, there are also obstacles on the market side, right? Because ultimately the market is rational. The market wants to make money. If it doesn't make as much money as pursuing an alternative option, there simply isn't a market for it. And with our existing customers, we do believe that like the alternative of, hey, well, we'll start targeting like rad hard MCUs. We'll start targeting rad radiation hardening all the individual ICs some peripherals around the chip, and eventually would target the chip itself when the market is mature, when the market makes sense. But for now, adopting the strategy of, hey, we'll have multiple backup computers on board. That fell, switch it off. That fell, switch it off. That fell, switch it off. That makes more sense. And particularly for these large missions, like they're talking the Curiosity rover. That like these missions from JPL, the flagship missions, they have billions of dollars. The prestige of the whole agency attached. No engineer wants to be that engineer that made the call of saying, "Hey, we're going to use that brand new GPU from NVIDIA." That GPU fails, and all of a sudden, you become the most hated man in the entire space industry.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good argument.
You pretty much summed it up there. Yeah.
Like, who bought these components?
Yeah.
Somebody buy components instead of a whole spacecraft? Yeah. Get them out of here.
Yeah. I was trying to talk about NASA missions not making money. Jeez. Okay. All right. So.
So when
right,
you're looking at your
backburn
own
that.
hardware and putting these platforms out there into the world, what are the markets that you're looking at in terms of like the buyers, the customers for these platforms specifically, and do you hand those over for them to operate, or are you also trying to run operations for the satellites that you launch as well?
So that's an interesting question. So one of the cases that we've gone after is running operations for our own satellites that we launched, right? So, and our upcoming missions, we actually have customers, ride-sharing software payloads and hardware payloads with us, where they have sensors, they have software that need a ton of compute, whether it's doing LOM research on edge environments in space, or testing new imaging sensors, and these customers have these sensors and software on board our satellites and run them, and we essentially contract them not only for the space on board the satellite, but for accessing the compute resources from all of our GPUs clustered on board. So that essentially is a semi-orbital data center model that I think works very well, actually, like similar, actually like an AWS in space. But another thing that we've also noticed from the Space Force and the Department of War is an increasing enthusiasm for a model where commercial operators launch DOW satellites into space, build DOW satellites themselves, they launch them into space, they operate it themselves, and essentially they're held in reserve by the Department of War and called upon when needed, right? Because let's be honest, most of the time the satellite's up there, it's not really needed as an active asset. It's much better to have flexible assets, flexible reserves that can call upon in times of need. And that's what we think the direction is going to be, particularly for ISR and SDA assets.
I just watched that that movie House of Dynamite, and it's making me think of that. It's like a nuclear war, scenario with detection, and yeah, it's good. It's brand new. You should check it out. Yeah, but it's got kind of the same thing. You like the early detection, and then the ground-based interceptors and all that kind of stuff. It's on my mind right now. But one of the themes of it, of course, is like, there's all these resources that are just kind of sitting around waiting to see if something happens. And it takes a little bit to spin up that machine, because they're kind of like, oh yeah, we get these false alarms all the time. And then it's like, oh, this one, okay, we'll escalate this one to level 2. Yeah, it's probably just this. Oh, now it's level 3. Okay, we should start calling people on this, and like, all of a sudden. Yeah. But that calls it sort of underlines your point about the flexible assets, right? Because there's like a lot of just kind of sitting around with this stuff. I don't know, but
you just hope there's one Stanislav Petrov in there that's ready to call the false alarm when he sees it.
Flock of geese. Yeah.
So it's for the Space Development Agency, the stuff that you're talking about there with, or the resilient kind of constellation from the Department of Defense angle, Department of War angle. Have you noticed the way that they talk about that shift over the years? Because I feel like the idea for what now it's the proliferated, what is it? PWSA? Proliferated
Warfighter Space Architecture.
There it is. Terrible name.
And there's also another SDA too. It's they have Space Domain Awareness, which I was referring to, and then you have the Space Development Agency, right. And then you have the Space Data Association, and it's a whole acronyms.
This nightmare of branding. I feel like the talk about this started a couple of years before the moment we're in now technologically began, and I wonder how when you go out and talk about this stuff about like the capabilities that we actually need on these satellites to run this kind of stuff, has the understanding of what is needed there made its way up to the level of decision makers in, let's just look at the defense angle. Like, do they have a good understanding that where the hardware was when they started talking about this isn't where it is today, and where it is today is what we actually need for this? And like, how are they kind of designing the program to actually take advantage of the stuff that newer entrants are actually working on these days, rather than let's do a new architecture with the old hardware, which is kind of how it feels like it started.
That's a good question, and I would say the understanding has improved quite significantly over the years, right? You have programs like SDA Halo, explicitly calling for new small satellite manufacturers within the United States to step up and take a shot at the goal. You have the SDA explicitly setting money aside for new hardware manufacturers, new satellite companies, and new satellite bus companies in the US. You have new semi-primes appearing, like companies like K2 Space, Apex Space, that are now actively bidding on and competitive with the old primes like Lockheed and Raytheon on these like large space programs. And you also have what's starting to become more noticeable, which is a retreat of the larger primes from these programs, right? Because these programs are oftentimes fixed price. The older primes, they want to do cost plus. You don't want to do fixed price. Like when NASA said we're going to do fixed price, like Boeing straight up threatened to stop bidding on the NASA contract. And I remember the reception in the space community, in the space industry at the time was, I hope you do. I hope you stop bidding and leave.
Yeah, you're getting the point.
But yeah, you're getting the point, right? You're getting the point. But I do think as we start to move towards more fixed price contracts, that gives a massive advantage to smaller startups that have the ability to move fast, move on technology, like develop technology at low cost and scale that up effectively, versus larger primes that are loaded with just bureaucratic red tape.
Even the mindset too of what you're talking about, of like, don't spend the money to rad harden a GPU, but ship 5 or 6 of them and know that you're gonna have a bunch of failovers happen. I feel like many people in the industry would have shuddered at that thought 10 or 15, 20 years ago, and that even harkens back to like the original outset of Google, which was like, we could spend a bunch of money on expensive servers that don't fail, or we could buy the shittiest servers on the market and just buy way more of them than we think we need. And that eventually did win out as a strategy play versus their competitors that were buying exquisite units that would never fail. So, and I think like if you read a bunch of space news, literally like spacenews.com, right? There's always somebody high up in one of the space defense agencies talking about how we've got to embrace the new era of resiliency and buying cheaper satellites rather than really expensive targets. And they've sort of done it a little bit, but I don't really feel like they've fully adopted that mechanism.
Well, it's difficult, right? Because imagine that you're a program manager in the SDA and you bought 10 satellites and half of them failed because you bought them using relatively unproven cheap cost technology. They were cheap, right? But they were cheap is not probably a good excuse to give to Congress or to give to your boss when half of your satellites failed.
But the excuse would be I bought 5 more than anyone else did. Like, that, right? The outcome-driven approach is, I think, how you win out.
Yes, but there is a line that has to be drawn, and ultimately, it is that there's a line that has to be drawn. Like, for example, I know a lot of space companies now are using automotive-grade parts or industrial-grade parts instead of space-grade parts, and because for short-term missions, automotive and industrial-grade are just good enough to work in low Earth orbit, and that would have been completely unheard of in the 1980s and 1990s. That hey, you can take the same resistors and capacitors I use in my car and put them on a satellite and send that satellite into space, and it'll work because the risk culture just wasn't there, and the launch prices were so high that if you send up a satellite and it failed, it would be a year or two before you could send up a satellite again. But now with Falcon 9, with New Glenn, with all of these launch options coming up, if a satellite fails, screw it. Wait 3 months, 6 months, send up another one.
Yeah, this is the whole iPhone project at Ames, right? Same idea. Yeah.
The iPhone project Ames. Pour one out for Ames.
Yeah. I also wanted to point out, Anthony, that Curiosity rover has 2 computers, and that was more
Look
than
at
15
this.
years ago. Yeah,
Look
that was
at
more than 15
this.
years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe check your dates a little bit.
Hmm. Are you saying I'm old? I don't know.
They're both broken, by the way.
Yeah, how many wheels did Opportunity have, Jake? That really worked out.
Outcome driven, though, Anthony. It's still driving, so outcome driven. Okay,
It's
that's
more
what we're gonna
wheels than
go.
most people sent to Mars. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
6 wheels. Maybe 3 of them are broken, but you know what? How many?
it's 3 more than Europe sent. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So you are, first of all, Ed, I fucking love how opinionated you are about shit. It's my favorite. I love it. I think most people are scared to take opinions, and I appreciate that you're not. So convince me on, you went from I don't want to be a component manufacturer, I'm building the whole thing. What is the special sauce? Why are your buses better than everyone else's out there?
It's about integration. We don't just do so a lot of people go after just the hardware, just go after the software, right? They just see people doing just mission software, mission control software, or just like satellite bus software, or see people just trying to go after just pure components. They just give you the hardware and just fuck off. I don't think that's really a play
I
that
think that
works
is
out
the
well.
tagline of Rocket Lab Space Systems, by the way. I'm pretty sure. I'll check the website, but I think that might be.
But ultimately, you need to give both the hardware and software. The hardware and software ultimately are the same product. You look at the iPhone, right? Why is the iPhone such a beautiful product? Why is Apple such a well-known company? Why do their products? Why do people like Apple
You're
products so
singing
much
Anthony's
more
language
than the
here.
products of anyone else? Because Apple products have the hardware and software integrated with each other. The software in itself of the Mac OS, the iOS, is a product in itself, right? And this is what makes Apple devices so sticky. It's the feature, the seamless integration between and intercompatibility between all products within the Apple ecosystem. If Apple didn't have that, I don't think people would love Apple half as much. If Apple didn't have that, I don't think Apple would be 1/10 of the size it is today. And if you look at that approach, that's the same approach we've taken with our products, where we build this hardware and the software. We build them at the same time. We integrate everything together, and we make sure that everything works very, very well together. Because the whole point of an ecosystem is seamless intercompatibility. And I look at all these companies just doing hardware, just doing software. I think that's what they're really missing.
I dig it.
He's got me, Jake.
Yeah, he won you over with the Apple love.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the quote? Every company that's serious about software and makes their own hardware. What's the
You
correct
got it.
me on
You
it?
got it right enough. It's
Yeah,
wrong,
right
but you
enough.
got it right enough. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm
I
just a
think it's the
software
other way
guy.
Close.
around.
Yeah.
It's the other way around. Okay,
That's
all
what I mean.
right.
You got the vibe, not the details.
Yeah.
Yeah. You basically LLM'd that your way through that one, Jake.
You can use me as a source of ideas, just not a source. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is the Earth infrastructure like for the company then? Like, factories, production lines, what's the idea there? What do you have set up? Where are you going with it?
So we started off set up more as a design house where we handled the final integration and assembly in-house. Now, as the company is growing, we've done more and more to insource functionalities like testing, small-scale production, and eventually, as we grow, we do want to integrate like everything from board assembly to final testing and final delivery in-house, right? Because the more we can bring on in-house, the easier it is to maintain strict quality control, the easier it is to trace any flaw to a single step in the production process. It's the same thing that Elon Musk did when he approached Starlink, the same thing that Tesla does, where they tightly control every single step of the process to understand if something goes wrong, they understand exactly where and why it went wrong. And that ultimately, I think, is something that any serious hardware company should do.
Yeah.
So where were the first things built from? If you were design shop originally, like where were the first round of hardware built out, and how'd you put that all together?
We actually worked with some PCB assembly shops down in South Bay. We put them together. We got the design, the enclosures, yeah, from a local CNC shop, and that's how we actually launched them. The product that we launched into space. From there, we've expanded working with more PCB assembly shops in the South Bay, as well as more like services for CNC that we've begun seeing sourcing from CNC shops from all over the country. We've had some issues and hiccups with the quality of some of our suppliers. So now we've learned several painful lessons around having backup suppliers and backup suppliers from backup suppliers. And this also has enabled us to get stuff like our AS9100 certification, gain all these industry that meeting industry standards or quality meeting industry standards that enable us to get cleared to fly on our customer spacecraft.
I feel like you're circling around the vertical integration discussion there, right? That's like backup suppliers. Eventually, you just get to a point where you're like, we're just going to build the CNC machine in our warehouse and do it ourselves, right?
Ultimately, that is the goal, as CNC has proven to be trickier than one might assume.
Yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, this is the living in Mexico vibe totally, because it's just like you want to get some sort of either a supplier for stuff, or you want like service to do stuff for you, and it's like really inconsistent and hard to find, and then eventually you're just like, well, I'm an electrician now. that's the situation. So I get it. I feel that vibe. I feel that energy.
Did these people know what they were working on when they were running this through the CNC process? Do they know like this is?
I think they did. They knew it was some, like we told them this has to be ITAR. Like we went to AS9100 compliant and ITAR compliant shops, right? We can't ship this out to China, but they did know, and ultimately, I do think it does come down to a bit of, if it's not your product, you don't really care about the quality as much. So the more you can vertically integrate it also brings a stake, like who's answerable if this thing fails, to within the scope and responsibility of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That is like, I'm gonna keep going on this analogy, but that is like a very much a DIY like advantage, right? Because it's like, yeah, maybe you're not like good at lumber or carpentry and electrician stuff, but like nobody cares about your house the way you care about your house, and there's like there's an advantage to like getting the work done for that, or like you won't cut corners or do things like that. It's a thing, man. It's like a real thing that I believe in very strongly.
If you knew your lore, Jake, there was another Steve Jobs quote you could have used here, but
is there? Oh man,
there's a back of the cabinet quote that you could have used, but we'll
give it to me. Let's learn a Steve Jobs quote today.
I mean, it's if I said there's a Steve Jobs quote about the back of the cabinet, if you riffed this right now, I bet you would nail it.
Something. You can tell how good it is if you open up the cupboard doors and look at the back. I don't know.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah. Basically, TLDR, the back of the cabinet is as good as the front of the cabinet because this guy cares about his work. Yeah.
Yeah. You LLM'd it, but it's good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a longer one, admittedly, than the one that you screwed up earlier. That was one sentence at most. Okay, so when you set up these fully vertically integrated situations, where are you going to do this at? You stay in California? Is it going to be nearby where you're sitting right now? Do you know yet?
I heard the vibe is moved to Texas. I don't know, but
or Long Beach. You could buy a failed space company's place in Long Beach at some point. I'm sure another one will come up for auction. So
I'm sure there seems to be. I'm sure that given once the next bubble crashes, there'll be quite a few failed space companies with pricey real estate that we can
data centers too. Yeah,
data centers. Yeah. True.
And I've actually in our office we have some relics that were acquired from a failed space company, bankruptcy auction, and that I believe that failed space company acquired it for another failed space company.
Come on, tell us what they are.
What is it?
What'd you get? What'd you buy?
I cannot comment on the specifics, but I do assume that it's like the office chairs in San Francisco, right? Like everyone has an Urban Miller chair, but the Urban Miller chairs, you buy them like $1,000. You buy them off of like Facebook, a marketplace of like $300. So no one in San Francisco actually buys like the brand new Urban Miller chair. There's like 10,000 Urban Miller chairs floating around the city, and they all like rotate through startups. Right, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same like office relics. Like you have like paintings and posters, and just keep rotating through bankrupt startups.
Yeah, Do you have one of the like inspirational posters that's like the corporate art with like
Now that's a bit too old, but we do have some
believe?
paintings of that.
Believe. The sky is not the limit. Yeah.
The sky is not the limit. Yeah.
Evidently, it was for some of them.
Yeah. A couple of them.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. Okay.
God. Jake, we've been thinking of dumb games we could play. Remember we thought of what was the fantasy football style game that we thought of a couple weeks ago? Oh, like rocket fantasy football, right? We like draft which rockets.
Right.
The other one I have is like let's do a power ranking of like next space companies to give up their office relics and Herman Miller chairs. Like, let's see if we could get it right.
I would be interested in seeing that because there's quite a bit of the auctions are always fun. I'm assuming, right? I have
Rocket
friends
Lab
who
thinks so, man. They love those auctions. They're like, we got a whole factory out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have friends who have bought everything from TVAC chambers to actual full-blown shells of rocket engines from these bankruptcy auctions. And I'm like, wow, you pretty much have everything you need to start a full-blown launch company right here.
Are these ITAR certified auction houses? Or what's
Yeah, you're
the
out,
situation?
Jake. You can't come. You could definitely not come. Just me and Ed hanging out.
I would assume so. I mean, I don't even know how do you even get ITAR certified as an auction house?
How do you
Right, like you
auction
go-
anything ITAR covered? Like that seems like a no-no.
I mean, it's a shell, right? So you don't actually have the plumbing and valves inside. You just get like the rough dimension. I suppose that's not ITAR. It would
Depends
be
if
funny
they've
though
drilled
to imagine.
the throat out. That was the really, the
Yeah.
injector plate and the throat. That's gonna get you. That's
And
good.
the
I
umbilical.
assume there's probably some auction house somewhere that is like it's maybe like it's a federal auction, right? Like when the U.S. Navy sells off some of its old ships, like can China or Russia send an agent saying, "Hey, no, I'm Vladimir Putinov. I'm no relation to Vladimir Putin. I'm here to buy 2 of the frigates." Can we do the same to the Russians too? Like when Roscosmos, like Roscosmos, everything is for sale. Okay? I once heard of a Soyuz capsule being sold in Russia, right? And I was like, how did I get my hands on the fucking Soyuz capsule? I want that Soyuz capsule.
Yeah. What are you
when
gonna do, sit
they
in it?
auction
Very
off
uncomfortable.
when they auction off the old
I've seen,
hardware to keep the lights
you
on.
guys won't believe this, but I've seen toilets from the International Space Station, full-blown Russian spacesuits like worn on EVAs for sale on eBay. And one of them was quite a fun listing because I remember looking at the listing and you could see the spacesuit, you have the visor, right? The visor's gold, it's reflective, and you could see like the surroundings of the spacesuit. And it was some guy's living room.
Was it Tim Dodd?
Some guy has. It's some guy in Canada.
Tim bought his
And
on
that's a
eBay,
Russian-
right? Where did Tim buy his?
Yeah, I think he bought it on eBay. Yeah, it's like, but his is like a high altitude flight suit, though, isn't it? Isn't that the
I don't care. It counts enough for
Yeah.
me.
I mean, this one was a full-blown Russian Orlan space
Like an
suit,
Orlan,
right? You
yeah,
see the
yeah.
visor.
Amazing.
It's some guy's living room, and the same guy has a toilet from the ISS also on sale. I
every
mean, I
once in a
remember
while these
seeing.
Assume that happened
Seen some
together.
part,
Some
too.
Russian stole the ISS toilet and brought it back, and then sold the Soyuz, the spacesuit, and the toilet all in one go.
There's another part I remember seeing too. It's an unidentified electronic part, and it's from a Russian station. And it's, what is it? It's an unidentified electronic part. Sure, all right.
That's a CIA honeypot for sure.
it's the
Definitely a
the
honeypot.
Nauka it's the Nauka IMU is what it was. Yeah.
You see all sorts of shit on eBay now, right?
Yeah,
In
we
the,
gotta buy one of
Ukrainian-
these at some point, Jake. We gotta do
I was
this.
gonna say every once in a while one of these auctions like floats across the Discord and
Yeah.
we're just like, oh, what is? Oh, it's
shit.
like it's like a tire from from the bus that Yuri Gagarin peed on or something, and you're like, well, maybe I'll buy this. Like maybe
I would
it's
buy
oh,
that for sure.
It's $8,000, but like
If
maybe
that
I'll
was
buy it.
available, I would make that a toilet, and I would. That would be great.
I don't think you get good luck if you don't go into space after. I think that's
Yeah,
how
I
it
guess
works.
that's
You
true. You might be
kind
cursed.
of need to go into space for the good luck to happen.
That'd be awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, we gotta buy something at some point. There's a lot of
Yeah.
these good ones.
do a Kickstarter. help Off-Nominal buy Yuri
Yeah.
Gagarin's P tire.
Yeah.
Is it still the same tire? Do we know? Does like any tire, because they all pee on the tire, right? So
Listen, the story is much more important than the rubber. Okay.
how do you know it's the same tire? Like, did they keep the tire? Did they remove the tire and say Yuri Gagarin
a great
peed on
point.
this tire? We got to put it in a warehouse for future posterity.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
gotta
the
put it
way
in a
they,
warehouse that just demolishes itself over the
yeah,
years.
a
and falls
warehouse
on
whose
itself.
whose ceiling is not compromised. But
At
yeah,
the center of
the
a
way,
land
So,
dispute.
the way that they treat Gagarin, I assume that tire is preserved somewhere in a vault. So.
I mean, to be fair, the Russians still do have a decaying space shuttle inside a warehouse in, I think, Siberia or Kazakhstan.
We gotta save
Yeah,
that. We gotta
I
do
know.
something.
You could probably buy it. I'm not kidding. You could probably buy it and get them to ship it to you.
You
Better
could
yet,
probably
what do you
steal it
think?
easier.
What do you think happened to the OneWeb satellites that got stolen at the beginning of the Ukraine war?
I think they're still sitting inside a warehouse if some Russian guy hasn't sold it and now suspiciously has a new dacha outside of Moscow.
They just have 36 OneWeb satellites stacked up somewhere.
In his living room, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bookshelf. Yeah.
It'll show up on eBay
Hey,
eventually.
mate, we'll show up on
Us-
eBay.
Us three will go in on buying a OneWeb satellite at some point, and it'll be great.
Is it before or after the ISS toilet?
Oh man, that's a good item. I know exactly who Jake and I would send that to if we bought that.
Yeah.
That would go right to Brendan Byrne. We'd put
Right
it in
to
his
Brendan
house.
Burns.
Yep.
Yeah. Best birthday present I could ever give him. Yeah.
Would you put it in your house? Would you set up like a bathroom that looks like a space station bathroom in your house?
I don't think the ISS toilet works in 1G. That's a problem.
It sucks it out no matter what, man.
Yeah.
It's just better in 1G. You know, it's like a
Yeah.
vacuum thing, Jake. There's airflow involved. You don't know
Man,
about this?
this is the main reason that I would be hesitant to go to space. I don't want to.
This is the one? You know what the one for
I
me
don't-
is cruise ships. I look at cruise ships. I'm like, God, everyone's got neurovirus, and there's like strange murders that happen a lot, and that's like they have fresh air also. Like there's no way this is better with not fresh air.
Dude, and I take cruise ships all the time, and they don't bother me at all.
Yeah, it makes me nervous.
But
It makes me nervous to apply that to
Sucker
closed air.
5000, I'm not into that, man. I'm not into that.
I mean, to be fair, there's less alcohol in space, and there's also no. You also can't really fall off the spaceship and die.
I mean,
Kinda
have you
hard
watched
to
The
do that.
Expanse, man? You can get they space so many people in that. Although to your point though, it would be easier to use a space toilet if you did have neurovirus. That would be a better full package, Jake. Okay. Yeah. In no way am I married to a gastroenterologist, by the way, in which I am fully comfortable talking about this, and you are not.
Now, what's interesting is that they have like personal flight suits of the Soyuz astronauts, right? So I remember seeing a personal flight suit of this one Russian Soyuz astronaut. He actually went up on several missions to ISS, and I was thinking, how the hell did they get that thing? And then you also look into it, and there's like that food package. That food package out that expiration date in 2027. They're like, wow, I don't know how the hell they're getting it, but they obviously have someone in
They're like
Roscosmos
current?
sending them free shit.
Yeah. That's bleak.
Let
That's
me-
even that's the bleakest report of the Russian space industry I've ever heard.
As someone
The Russian
who,
space.
as someone who lives in a developing country, let me assure you, corruption in the government level is a heck of a thing, man. It can do all kinds of shit, man. Yeah, there's some.
So yeah,
there's some fascinating parts of that.
The Roscosmos is currently for sale on eBay, so if anyone is interested, you can probably go in and find good shit that you want. It's
The
like a
entire
bankruptcy.
agency.
It's like a bankruptcy auction of a company, except instead of a company, it's what used to be the second largest space agency in the world that sent the first man into space.
Maybe the commercial space station companies can pick up on this, and they will all of their food, all of Vast's food for the first year will be like, former Roscosmos packets.
I found a Russian Herman Miller chair.
They install the ISS toilet on the space station for vibes. Probably saves him like a couple million too.
Honestly, that's a great idea for them. I wonder if they've looked into that. Man, that would be so funny.
Man, I think they're
That feels
selling.
like more of an action thing.
They're selling the light bulbs in the factory at this point, so I think there's.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not looking good.
I mean, given enough time, and you can probably go buy the blueprints and actually a full-blown Soyuz from the Russian Space Agency for probably, I don't know, less than 10 million. But there's definitely opportunities here for any enterprising young American entrepreneurs that want to break into space tech. Just fly to Russia, slip on the sanctions, go bribe some Roscosmos guys to give you all the blueprints and IP for it.
China
You'll
did.
probably do
Worked
it.
for Shenzhou, then might as well work for you too.
This is very
good.
true.
This
Yeah,
show
it
took a
did work
great
for
turn,
Shenzhou.
I'll say, Jake. This took the best left turn of any show we've done. It makes me want to spend the last 10 minutes pulling up eBay and trying to buy something right now on air.
You probably could.
I'm going to search for Roscosmos.
Actually, let me check. I am very curious. Is the spacesuit still for sale?
Well, we know it's on your watch list.
Login, watch list, space toilet. Yeah.
There's a
I saw
spare
this
winter
back in 20
jacket. Oh wow, this is a spare winter jacket from Soyuz MS-21, which is very recent, for $500. Oh shit!
I want the
Should we buy
Ukraine
this, dude?
jacket. That's the one I want.
Used, good condition. It's like, it's all right. You know, he wore it a couple times. Oh, you want the Ukraine jacket? That would be amazing. Oh my god, Jake, I would spend so much money on that as an artifact. Oh shit.
You know that those were immediately burned.
This is
the
the
second
most
they got
expensive
home,
off-nominal we've ever done, Jake. This is so expensive. This show. Ed, you've ruined our life now. I'm buying one of these things for sure.
For $350,000 in located in the U.S., free delivery, by the way, you can buy a Russian Krechet spacesuit for lunar surface operations.
That one's not even completed. No way that one even works yet. I know 3 companies that would buy that tomorrow. So if it worked, this is good. This is a good section of eBay, man.
I can shoot you guys. You guys will wait to send links. I can shoot you.
I might try to buy this MS-21 jacket, Jake. It's located in Canada. It's already in Canada, man.
We're gonna tariff you on that.
Should I buy this jacket, Jake?
You're gonna get in trouble with the tariffs.
Is this a legitimate jacket?
Cosmonaut Zabritsky.
Oh, this is MS-27. They haven't even flown this one yet.
It's a spare winter jacket.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't need one of those? You don't. I do.
No.
Soyuz MS-27. This didn't even fly yet. Right? Oh, no, this is
April,
what?
Roscosmos is so corrupt. Roscosmos is so corrupt, it's studying stuff from missions in the future. What more can I say? They built a time machine, and they're using the time machine to go from future Roscosmos, steal their shit, and sell it on eBay.
Sergei Rizikov, I think it's still on the station.
They're selling the future, basically, right? So, like, they put up, the main purpose of the jacket is merch, and they sell it on eBay. And then if it doesn't sell, they actually give it to the cosmonaut, and then they fly up to space and use it.
Wait, they're selling. I found an even better one, guys. This one is a Sergei Rizikov jacket who's currently on the space station, and they're selling his spare winter jacket.
He doesn't need it, obviously.
It's the same person too, the same seller. So what's going? Click on that seller.
Cobalt
what's going on
2000?
here? What's going on with Cobalt 2000s?
I think that's a guy that was selling the ISS for it. See if it's still there.
Look at this. He's got so many things. This is the guy, man.
Oh, is that a signed photograph? Ooh.
Yeah, this is a MS-8.
On the same guy, Zabritsky.
Signed. Look, this. Whoever Cobalt 2000 is my jam. In North York, Ontario, Canada, Jake.
All right. Okay, North York.
I'm about to buy some stuff from this guy's shop and see how it pans out. Look at this shirt. This is an amazing eBay store. 10 pages of this. Holy shit.
That is like the Gagarin cosmonaut photo version of the like department store portrait you get with your cats like hovering above you, like that one. Jeez.
Can I do sort by most expensive? Price and shipping. Here we go.
This is
This is
that's how you'll find it.
$47,000
There we go.
Soyuz TM Mir space station, extremely rare, actual console in Ontario. This has to be like, is this like a museum that got liquidated or something?
Gotta be or something, hey? Like, how does this guy have all this stuff?
Here's a lunar lander Salyut space station periscope.
Holy smokes.
God, that's so awesome.
Man, that one speaks to me. I would buy that if I had an
This
extra
is half a Bitcoin, Jake.
$40,000.
Yeah, this
Half
gets
a
expensive. These are pretty
Gee.
awesome, though. All right. God, Ed's spending so much of our money today. This is so problematic.
It's not gonna be good. Do they ship to Mexico? Just wondering.
I don't know.
Or do I have to go get it? To go home and get it?
Yeah, you got to go home. Just don't tell him on the way back in.
Yeah, do you think the Mexican customs are going to appreciate that? What is this?
I think so.
Listen, don't worry about it. It's just a lightly used Salyut space station space telescope that was used to spy on the Americans in the Cold War from space. Don't worry
It's
about
only
it.
in good condition. Yeah.
It's used, so it's not subject to import taxes.
Jake, I got even better. I got the best item so far. The pre-flight jacket for Skaplarov's jacket for the movie The Challenge. The off-nominal favorite movie, The Challenge. God, this is good. This is good eBay here. Ed, we owe you at least 2 minutes to plug some shit because of how good this episode has been. Are you hiring people? Do you want to have people contact you? Tell us what's up. What should we watch for?
Got it. Yeah, of course. So we are very interested in exploring orbital data center applications. While we do understand that a lot of the further out applications for orbital data centers are out in the future, we do want to talk about the applications of space computing today, right? Particularly for large programs like Golden Dome, what we can do for programs like PWSA, and for the Department of War objectives. And another thing I also want to shout out is that madman on eBay who is currently selling the Russian lunar spacesuit, because I do think if Axiom or who's the other guy that got kicked out of the competition? I forgot.
Collins bailed.
Axiom, okay, Axiom or Collins, if you guys hear this and you guys are listening to me, buy that Russian spacesuit, put an American flag on it, and just sell it to NASA. We need the Artemis spacesuit. We need American flag on the moon. Good luck.
Also an amazing troll. If we flew a Russian spacesuit to the moon and walked around in it via a starship, that would be amazing. Yeah.
That would turn some heads. Yes.
That would turn some heads.
They're probably further along than Axiom or Collins is, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, definitely further along than Collins.
Yeah. The way there.
Yeah. Put a nice black covering over it. Give it to George Santos. We'll be good. We'll be in good shape there. The spacesuit.
In
Just
fairness,
strapped off
Axiom's actually had
Russians.
they've had some progress posted on their suit lately, so that's been good.
It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're doing testing. It's not just a mysterious made up thing now.
I don't know. I'm still suspect.
Yeah. I'm suspicious because it's big JSC, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But
Where do you want people to reach out, Ed? I don't know if we got to that part. You got an email or something?
Yeah, sure. My email, ed@aethero.com, is my best email for reaching out to me. I check it. Probably should check it more. And
Or if you're selling any high-quality Russian space artifacts, ed@aethero.com.
I can also refer you to whoever is. If you're sending the Soyuz capsule, reach out to me as well. I need a new office.
it's a
Working
little
in
cramped, I
that
gotta
would be
tell you.
amazing. Yeah. I would be fine, but I think
Yeah.
Jake would not.
No, I couldn't do it.
No.
All
Well,
right.
Jake,
Well,
I think we're off next week because it's Thanksgiving.
it's
It's my
Thanksgiving, but we'll be back
It probably was yours recently, so happy Thanksgiving. Do you still celebrate that?
a
Jake?
month ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a month ago.
I don't know.
But
Do you do that still in Mexico, or do you just?
Sometimes I feel very inspired and I do a Mexican Thanksgiving fusion meal and I cook like mashed potatoes with habanero in it. It's really good. But I did it this year. Maybe next year's the next one. Let's see. I'll do it when you come visit me. That's what I'm gonna. How's that? You can
Listen, I
come
told
down.
you it's in the Colangelo family plans here.
You can come down for Canadian Mexican Thanksgiving. How's that?
Actually, sounds great. I'm into that.
I'm a pretty good cook,
I know, and with the habanero thing and your weird honey stuff that you're drinking right now. How was that? Let's check in on that.
Fantastic.
Thing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yum Bob.
Yum Bob.
Yum Bob.
Come on
There it is.
down. Yum Bob.
Awesome. We don't know who's hanging out with us on the other side of Thanksgiving, but I bet it'll be good. And then we're only 2 weeks from the off nominees, so
Yes, it's coming up fast. So we've got.
we have some legwork to do with the Australians before the off nominees, Jake. We've gotten no radio contact from Gilmore Space since we thought we might have the inside edge on that.
They have an instant win available to them if they just follow some few short steps. So.
Yep, they sure do. Man, Ed, thanks for hanging out, putting up with our bullshit.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Glad we got this done. So it's good.
See you, everybody.
Well, happy
Bye.
Thanksgiving,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Ciao.